start to accumulate power. No matter where you are, even in jail, the more responsibility you take, the more other people need you and depend on you, which is a fascinating relationship switch, if you want to think of it that way. Because one of the things that happened to me is when I was in Saskatoon Correctional, they actually called me a famous person. The director said, we've never had a famous person in prison, so we don't know what to do with you, right? And so, but this manifests itself like I would actually write furiously at night all my thoughts about what's going on in this research I'm doing, and then I would call in the next day, collect to Cannabis Culture Magazine, and read all the stuff I'd written, and they'd record it at that end, and then they'd give a disc of it to Jody, and she'd type it out that night. It would take her on average about 5 hours every night to type it out. That's when she fell in love with me. So brilliance does have its romantic aspect, I suppose, or at least audaciousness. And but she would type it out, and then every day the next day at prison, all the officials were reading it, the whole thing, right? And I thought, well, this is really interesting. So now not only am I cleaning their environment, taking care of their environment, being in their environment all the time, but now they're reading my interpretations of what I think about being in their environments, right? And the figure they think nobody in the world is ever going to acknowledge this jail except you. So they had like 2 months of a soap opera that ran daily about their prison that they read voraciously. And eventually, you could get little subtle changes. Because I actually, when I got out of my bunk in this one area, I did not want to let my feet touch the grass. That carpet there had not been cleaned in years. Who knows what people have done to that carpet, is what I'm thinking. So there's no way my feet were touching it, right? So I would have garbage bags down on the floor from my spot to the door, right? So I knew my feet never had to touch that carpet, right? So I'd rail about these carpets never being cleaned and stuff like that. Well, sure enough, they all read about it, right? But they didn't have any extra money in their budget. So the guy would say they would take a collection somehow and go and rent a carpet cleaner for 2 days from the local, like, industrial shop back place and bring it in. And then one other guy who defaulted on paying child support payments. It was actually a surprisingly large number of people in jail for defaulting in child support payments, right? And I have so many cool stories about jail. But, you know, it made me think, too, you know, it makes you feel real lucky when you're a normal person in jail and you don't let it freak you out, right? You better like playing cards, right? I do like playing cards, so I got a lot of fun there. And I said I wasn't snobby, because most of my cellmates were native people. I would say 85% of all the people I ever dealt with were native people in most prairie prisons across Canada, right? And it might be true in more prisons, but in British Columbia and Ontario, there was a more white population than there were on the prairie. So, but anyway, I got along great with everybody. I found that I learned a lot about the staff. I would talk to the staff, and they would sit down and they would just tell me about the meaning of their life. They all wanted to make me understand. They said, listen, I just don't want you to think I'm going to be a prison guard for the rest of my life. I'm not. I have real dreams and ambitions, too. But they would all... they're telling me this. Like, you don't have to explain to me. I'll probably get out before you. So. And actually, that's how the prison director of the prison introduced himself. He said, I just want you to know that I'm here... Before I get to retire, every single person who works in a prison is looking at retirement. The only reason they have this job is to look forward to retirement. So they can retire after 20 years of being in prison. That's pretty early. You know, if you start at age 20 and you think you can get a retirement check at 42 or so, that's, in a lot of people's mind, that's worth spending 20 years of your life to get to that point, right? But they all told me, yes, I've only got 5 years to go, or I've only got 7 years to go. I was surprised when people had been here 10, 12 years. And in fact, in a SAC level, many of the prison guards knew the inmates better than anybody they had themselves as in family. Like, that was what was really weird, is that I would meet people who would keep coming back, and that he'd been there 4 years that the guard had been there. So that guard, an older guy, actually knew him better than anybody else on earth, and to some degree even cared for him more than everybody else was. So that's why eventually you learn all the way these relationships work. And most people in jail, I found, by the way, completely off topic, and I will do that. So if anybody wants to rein me back in, and you got something you want to hear about, you can either yell it out in the other 10 minutes, right? And but I found that people were surprisingly civilized in jail. They could take away alcohol and women. Men, even the bad boys that some of them were, if you took away alcohol and women, were surprisingly reasonable people. It's just they don't have anybody around to guide them in these areas, right? So they don't, again, life is a nuanced, subtle thing. All the answers aren't kind of one word. Most of these people just need someone to take them out of the bar before they had that one extra drink. Or before they said that one little thing that started a bar fight. Or before they smacked their woman, right? You know, any number of things. Just leave the room, you would have saved half of them wouldn't be in jail. So I started learning, and a lot of them never had a chance to love, too. Most of them never had a father. Which when I had a drug addiction clinic, I found that people who didn't have a biological father in their life for all part of their childhood were very, very vulnerable to substance abuse problems. Now, not everybody. Sometimes they say, well, I have this problem, but my brother doesn't. It's certainty they're going to have problems, but I found that no one who had two loving parents who were always home, who told their kids that they loved them and showed it to them, ever were putting needles in their arm at age 19 after puberty, hanging around with rough people, and I was angry and doing things, and I took up habits with people who had bad habits. And that was like the same story from almost everybody, right? No father around with that kind of wise guidance about choices you make. You're like 90% of everything you do at home is your mother looks after. But that 10% of your father, though, is a really key one, because that's kind of like the capacity of the planet. It's the backbone part. Your mother can provide you with everything, help you with everything, and give you all sorts of things you need to get out there. But your father gives you that quiet advice that he's around, that gives you the backbone to make decisions. Where you can walk out of the bar before you have that next thing, or before you slap someone, or before you lose your temper. You need someone around to remind you that usually, if you just say nothing, that's often the best thing you can do in any given situation. And anybody who's been married knows that, certainly. Right? Turn around and walk out for 5 minutes, you'll probably be thinking of something completely different when you come back. Anyway, if we only have 10 minutes, I'll take questions. Yes, you.
You mentioned harm reduction in relation to cannabis, and I know there's a lot going on in Vancouver. We were one nights out I saw to another producer with Marc Hempo on the board, and I'm just curious how you see the potential future of company with that cannabis industry. You mentioned the harm reduction, because I know we're trying to do this.
Well, the key harm reduction I've always found cannabis is cannabis is good if you've gotten off of any other drug that's bad. Because if you're recovering from alcohol, or especially if you're recovering from heroin use, or crack cocaine use, or excessive behaviors, pot is a great thing to briefly take the edge off so you don't relapse. I know this from treating heroin addicts. I have 4 adopted children. My youngest one, after he left home at 16, became a heroin addict, and he's fine now, so that's good. If you don't kill yourself, hopefully you'll get through it and get over it. But anyway, he's doing great, and he hasn't used any hard drugs for a year and a half. He literally had to put himself in a community which was 60 miles from anywhere there was the drugs, and just distance himself that way. And so that's how he found an ability to stay away from hard drugs. But typically, they were all adopted. They were all abandoned by their parents, by their father. And that didn't affect a couple of them, but 2 of them had problems as a result of that. And your question was harm reduction. And so I've got a doctor who's giving out, who's signing licenses, which is so nice in Vancouver, a new doctor. And he said, you know what I noticed? A lot of these people tell me that pot's really good for them after their recovery. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, they tell me that they've cut down on all their prescription drugs, if they've got Crohn's disease, they've stopped taking all these other beta agonists, if they got, multiple sclerosis. He said, they're getting off all these hard prescription drugs when they're using pot. And additionally, he said, I've got 2 alcoholics who tell me they've stopped drinking successfully by having pot around. So when I think of harm reduction, see, the only reason we have harm reduction is because they made it illegal. If there was no prohibition, the harm reduction would be that. It would be legal. That's the biggest harm reduction we can do in our society. All the harm we see comes from prohibition. There's actually really very little harm from drugs. Cocaine and heroin, by the way, were completely legal from 1880 to 1907. And it was estimated over 1 million women in North America, Canada, and the United States addicted to heroin. Mostly white women with lots of children who, when you take heroin, makes you quiet, right, which everybody loved back in those days, because women should have been quiet. That's what they wanted, right? Don't vote. You shouldn't be great. You've got a lot of kids to go through the kids. Don't be thinking about politics or anything important. Just go do those things. And heroin helped aid and abet that. And a bottle of heroin capsules is only $1 for 25 capsules, so it's 4 cents for a 12-hour dose of heroin back at the turn of the century. So no one stole for it. There were never any known social problems, except slowly but surely, a group of people were starting to get addicted to opiates who were receptive to it. And that would be anybody, like most women who had lots of kids and had teeth pains and muscle aches and uterine problems and all sorts of horrible things that come when you live in an environment that's basically dirty, new, primitive, carved out of the wilderness, an absence of doctors, lots of kids coming. Let's face it, unsanitary behaviors. So sex is a much more risky thing back in those days. All these things made it extremely difficult to be a woman with children. So you took drugs. And what do opiates, heroin do? They take away all the pain. Well, if you'd have given that to someone and said for 4 cents you can eliminate all the pain you've got there, you'd be all doing that. And that's what people did do. And yet they were all legal. There were people who were addicted to them. There was no social problem associated with it. No one stole for it. No gangs were. What they did do is when they made it illegal, they forced white women then to go into opium debt. And that's where the problem